Thank you for joining me. My name is Ken Raggio, and we continue our lessons today in the book of Numbers. We begin today with the subject of the ashes of the red heifer. In Numbers 19, the Lord ordered a spotless red heifer to be sacrificed and burned, and its ashes mixed with water to create, as it were, a holy water to sprinkle for purification on people and places defiled by touching the dead. In modern times, this purification will be necessary before a newly built third temple can be dedicated. A red heifer is now being raised in Israel for this purpose. It is a type of Christ. Numbers 19, 9 and 10. Gather up the ashes of the heifer for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin, for a statute forever. In Numbers 20, the people needed water. God told Moses to speak to the rock, and it would give water. In frustration, Moses smote the rock twice. It did give water, but Moses angered God for having smitten it in unbelief. He showed his unbelief to Israel, and for that, God forbade Moses to enter the promised land. The works of the flesh always hinder the works of the Spirit. We should trust God for our miracles and not rely on brute force. He said in Numbers 20 and 8, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. God forbade Aaron the high priest to enter Canaan because of the episode with the golden calf. After 40 years of wandering came to a close, God told Moses to anoint Aaron's son Eleazar as his successor. Moses had clothed Aaron in priestly garments long ago. Now he would strip Aaron and give his robes to Eleazar. God gives and God takes away. We are all expendable. Make the most of your calling while you have time. In Numbers 20, verses 28, Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there in the top of the mount. Numbers 21, this chapter, 3 wars are documented. In the wilderness journey, the Canaanites fought Israel, taking hostages, but Israel fought back and destroyed the Canaanites at Hormah. Then Sihon and the Amorites, followed by Og, king of Bashan, also fought against Israel, but they were soundly defeated. The enemies of God's people often launch unprovoked attacks, but God will never let it go unanswered. Sooner or later, all God's enemies will be defeated. We must stay on God's side. Our enemies cannot succeed. Numbers 21:35. So they smote him and all his people until there was none left him alive, and they possessed his land. And then we come to this story of Balaam, the prophet who went bad. The story of the prophet Balaam and his dealings with Balak, the king of Moab, is an unusually long story about a man of God being bribed to side with God's enemies. The world and Satan will pay any price to get you to approve their wrongdoing and betray God or his people. Men quit their convictions and their good judgment and become fools by these processes. It happens every day. You must take care that it never happens to you. Don't betray God. Numbers 22 and 12, God said to Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them, speaking of the Moabites. Thou shalt not curse the people of Israel, for they are blessed. But Balak, the king of the Moabites, tried to bribe the prophet Balaam to curse Israel and bless Moab. Balaam at first refused. Balak raised the bribe until Balaam agreed to pray for them. God was furious. Balaam's donkey even rebuked him, and an angel drew a sword against him. Balaam was soon killed by his own troops during wartime. 11 times the Bible speaks disparagingly of Balaam for his betrayal. Learn a lesson from this. Never curse what God has blessed, and don't bless what God has cursed. Numbers 23 and 2. Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram. Don't do business with God's enemies. Balaam greatly angered God when he capitulated to Balak, king of the Moabites. Nevertheless, his prophetic gift continued to operate. He could see the future of Israel even under God's blessing. He saw far into the future, a star and a scepter. Some say this is a reference to David, but more accurately, it refers to Messiah himself. About 3,400 years ago, Balaam saw the coming kingdom of Jesus Christ. Numbers 24:17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Now, before entering Canaan, many of the Israelites had committed whoredoms with the Moabite women. The Moabite women enticed them to worship their god Baal-peor. God told Moses to slaughter all the whoremongers and idolaters. Even as Moses began, Eleazar's son Phinehas caught an Israelite taking a Moabite woman into his tent. So with a javelin, Phinehas zealously went in and slew them both. God told Moses to reward Phinehas with a covenant of everlasting priesthood for his act of righteous indignation. Numbers 25:13, he shall have it and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. We need to learn for that and stand for righteousness in our day. Moses numbered the men of Israel to determine how the promised land would be apportioned once they arrived there. Joshua and Caleb were the only survivors from those who had been 20 years and older at Kadesh Barnea. The younger generation who had not sinned received rich rewards, but their fathers foolishly lost. If you won't claim God's promises, somebody else will. I say we need to learn to inherit our portion by the will of God. Numbers 26:53, to many thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few thou shalt give the less inheritance. To every one shall his inheritance be given, according to those that were numbered of him. And then we had an issue of the daughters of Israel not receiving their inheritance. Moses had to address that. God will show you how to resolve a difficult legal matter. Moses had numbered the men of each tribe just before they went over Jordan. The land would be apportioned accordingly, but several women complained because their fathers died without sons to inherit. They wanted inheritance too. So Moses prayed, and God showed him a plan that satisfied everyone. Numbers 27:4. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And I say to you, take all your difficult cases to God. He has answers. Those are our lessons for today. May God bless you today and save your eternal soul in Jesus' name. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Please like and share and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, MeWe, Gab, CloudHub, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, Telegram, Truth Social, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Visit my website at KenRaggio.com for thousands of pages of Bible articles on every subject. Subscribe to receive my daily Bible studies by email. Go to Amazon, search for books by Ken Raggio. You'll see my daily Bible companion, 5,000 lessons almost from every chapter of the Bible, 2-volume set, Old and New Testaments. Get the Daniel prophecies, God's plan for the last days, 726 pages with footnotes, 175 photos, one of the most powerful prophecy teachings anywhere. Get the greatest doctrines of the Bible. Get Praying on Purpose, praying for results, how men prevail with God. Get Long Winding Road, my very personal story, and Treasures of Darkness, how to see the glory of God in your darkest trials. Click the link below if you want all 9 books for only $125 here in the United States only. And please donate through the link below, and then share these videos with your friends. And I'll see you next time. Good night.